Hi Floss Tube, back again for another video. So, been a good 3 weeks-ish, if not a little bit longer, since the last one. It's been a busy summer here with the caravans. There's just not been time to film without my partner here because I know he'd laugh at me for doing it. I've had a couple of finishes and I'm going to do Kyle Rekemeyer's tag, and so I'll get started on that. If you can hear the lawnmowers in the background, somebody's mowing all the grass on the caravan site, and I've just decided to do it as I've decided to film the video, which is really nice of them, isn't it? Right, so first of all, crinkle, I will show you my two finishes. One I finished last night at 1:30 in the morning, well, technically this morning, 1:30, is Nora Corbett's Miss Lola's Daggering. And I'll hold it up against here so you can see her in all her glittery glory. There. So she's done on, picture this, plus 28 count Whimsy Lugana with 1/1 skin, which by the end of it last night I was thinking, oh my god, this 1/1 skin is never going to end because you're doing like 4 times as much stitches. But I do think it's worth it, and I'm really happy with her. So eventually she's going to be wrapped around a canvas like the Miss Solar Ellipse, and the other one I finished, I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now, which has been a on and off one since 2013, is Nora Corbett's Siren Song Mermaid. Just lean back a bit to get her all in. And she has lots of lovely beads. And my partner said that I'm not allowed to frame this and put it on a wall in a room that he goes in because he's frightened to death of it. He hates fish and he hates the fact that it has no face. Freaks him out. And he said he's burying me with this one so that it can't haunt him after I'm dead. Which is funny but also a little bit morbid. But I'm just going to make sure that it's hanging around for the rest of his life anyway. So that's that one. I'm actually glad to have that one finished because I started it around 2013 and put it away after probably only doing a day or so on it, and it's nice now to have it completely done. I've got a couple of little whips to show. One of them is quite close to finish, which is Nora Corbett's Bella Hydrangea. Again, I've got the most of the dreaded 1/1 skin left, and just the rest of this bit to fill in, some beads to put here, some beads around here, and then fill in the flower. But I did do all the back stitching, and I love her. And that's just some random 28 count linen, I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, so that's that one. And last night when I finished Lola's Daggering, I decided to get my Stitch Rodeo When Life Gives You Lemons out. And all I've done on it since I picked it back up last night is this little lemon here, which I've done in the yellow, and then I'm just filling in the green bits now. But that's all I have on that one so far, really. It's about half of it. It is the full width of it, and that's on an 18 count. I think it's Fairy Forest from Craft Kitten. And then I also started the Cottage Garden Samplings Piece on Earth set. Crinkle. And I haven't got very far on it because I wanted to finish Lola's dad going off. But I started building a house. I have a snowflake, which was my centre where I started, and I counted down to do the house, and then I wanted to see what my colours were like for the border. I've gone for a hand-dyed silk from Thread Pickers for the dark green, and then I'm just using the DMC for the lighter one. It's a mixture of some of the called for overdyes and the rest of DMC. This is one of the Weeks Dye Works, these and the windows, but most of the rest that I've put in so far is DMC. I will be getting back to that one soon. And that's on 28 count Atlantis linen from Under the Sea. So I did say I would do Kyle's tag, so I will start that now. So Kyle from Stitching in Sound, his tag is 30 questions, and 10 of them are about your craft, which will be my stitching obviously, 10 about music, and 10 random ones. So if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm reading what the question is, which I wrote down from watching Michelle Garrett's video yesterday. So question 1 is, when and why did you start your craft? Well, it's quite a funny one. Myself and my sister are pretty close to each other in age, and every year my older brother, who's about 9 years older than me, and probably about 7.5 years older than my sister, would take us out to the Disney store or wherever, big shopping centre, to pick out what we'd like for our Christmas gift for that year. And one year we went to the Disney store and my sister decided she wanted a cross-stitching kit. I don't think we really knew what to do with it. She was maybe 8 or 9 and I was a little bit younger, probably about 7.5-ish. And it was a designer stitchers Disney kit with DMC threads and whatever, and it was Beauty and the Beast. It was, from what I recall, an oval shape with Belle and the Beast and then some flowers on the bottom and like a rose around it. And anyway, we got it home. We were always given the presents early, as I didn't do a Sim brother on Christmas Day. We got it home, we didn't know what to do with it. My brother's girlfriend at the time thought that you had to draw the picture onto the fabric because nobody read the instructions. So she got a biro and drew on the design onto the fabric. My sister stitched on it, but she'd got this big piece of fabric, all drawn on with this biro, with a pen. She started stitching using all 6 strands that were left on the floss pack, and instead of stitching, so I'll use this as an example. Instead of doing them like one box and then starting in the same hole and coming across to the next one like you're supposed to do, there was a gap in between each one, so you could see fabric between each stitch. And then also she ran out of colours really quickly as well, because you know, she's using all 6 strands, and she's got this really thick, bulky pink from what I think she started on Belle's dress, and she'd literally probably got a corner and all of the pink was gone. So I was like, what do you do with that? Eventually, as time passed, when we were in our late teens, we got a UK magazine and we had another go, and I think we got a free Eeyore chart or something like that. And I think mine went wrong, my counting went wrong, so I had to pick it out and then redo it. But in time to come, she bought the threads again that matched this Beauty and the Beast kit and started it again properly with new fabric and new threads. And when she knew what she was doing, I don't think she's ever actually finished it, because now she's got 4 kids, and so she doesn't stitch as much anymore as what she did when we were younger and before she had her eldest daughter. But I would say it's an ongoing one, and if she still hasn't finished it, which I don't think she has, it'll be coming up on about 27-year whip. You know, because she's always wanted to do it, and I think it'd be brilliant to actually see it finished, because it's the first thing she ever bought, and I know I always wanted to do it, I always liked it too, but it's one I never actually did go out and find, but I would like to. So question 2 is, what is your favourite thing about your craft? And mine would be, well, I find it really, really super relaxing. Even when you've got to frog out, I still think it calms me down, it soothes me, it relaxes me, it makes me just chilled for the day. You know, if I've had a stressful day, it really does relax me. And then as well as that, you know, your friends, people that you meet through it. Some of my favourite people in the world are people that I've met through stitching groups and forums and things like that. I don't know, I just love it. I always have done, even before the days of the internet, because I started stitching properly when I was probably like 17, and my boyfriend at the time, his dad was a teacher and he stitched, and he taught me properly how to do things, as well as buying the little magazine kit and actually reading the instructions that time. Yeah, he found that it was really calming at the end of the day, and he did all sorts of brilliant things. I never did get to show him a Heaven and Earth design, because by the time I discovered that and got brave enough to actually do that, I wasn't with the guy anymore. But yeah, as far as I know, his dad still does it. Question 3 is the least favourite thing about your craft. I don't know really. Least favourite thing. Probably the fact that if you do a Heaven and Earth design, you're going to be at it for years and years and years, aren't you? The thing I've always said to my partner is, wouldn't it be brilliant if stitching was magic? So like, all the whips that you had, say for example, I picked up Bella Hydrangea and I was working on her. However many stitches I put into this, magically, that same amount of stitches would appear in all of your other whips. And if you wanted to actually work on that particular one and pick up a different one, you could, but they would all get something. The only thing is, you can only pick one at a time. But so, yeah, I would like to think that that is something you could do. That is just the length of time it takes. But then, at the end of the day, you can be so proud that you've put all that time into it. So it's not really a least favourite thing, but I can't think of anything else. So that's that. A horror story involving your craft, right? The only thing I can really think about, and I know Kyle said not to really think about the questions, but I had to, because I had to write them down, so I had to listen to Michelle twice, and Kyle once as well. A horror story for me would be, I'm doing the Tilton Crafts Alice versus Almost Alice, and I've got DMC 209, which is a really light lilac-y colour, and I've had a dye lot issue because, like a fool, I just bought, when I first started it, enough colours to start, well, one of every colour, and didn't realise how much of a difference in the few years since I originally picked it up and last year when I worked on it solely on its own, completely for the whole year, that there'd be so many dye lot issues. And I've been to 4 or 5 different stores that sell the DMC. I've had it online, I've had friends send it from the US, I've had them send it from Australia, and nothing matched exactly. And in the end, what I had to do was buy one DMC colour, I think it was, and one anchor colour, and combine the two. Luckily, I'm doing it in 2 strands, 10th stitch. But it just about works from a distance. If you knew it was there and you knew which part it was in, where the worst part is where it finishes on one row. It's the middle of a tablecloth, and the one row dips like that, and the next page just does that last little part of this sort of shadow dip as the table goes in the middle. And it's just slightly off now, but if I didn't tell anyone, they wouldn't necessarily know. But at the time, I was like, oh my god, I've spent years and years and years on this thing. But yeah, that's that one. Have you ever struggled to finish a project, and why? Yeah, quite a few. But they're not finished yet. So, yeah, again with the Alice in Wonderland, I spent all of last year on it, and I got a bit of a burnout. And then I was trying to look for a way to sort out that 209 issue that I had, and then found Floss Tube, and I found Stitch Mania. So it was like, okay, I'll put the big project down for a while, and I will get a couple of smaller things done. And so far, I haven't really gone back to it for more than a couple of days at a time. But yeah. Favourite place to do your craft? I like to do it on the sofa next to the TV. If my partner's got the Xbox on, then I have my headphones and listen to Floss Tube. I sit pretty much where I'm sitting now, usually with my legs under me because they're more comfortable, but I know I shouldn't, and after a while I have to stop because I know I've got cramp. But yeah, that's where I sit pretty much, or on the sofa at home if we're in the house. How did you feel when you completed your first project? There were a few that I started before I completed my first one. I felt quite happy and proud of it actually. The first one I ever completed was a John Clayton Elegance Ladies Through Time one. I haven't got it with me, but it is in my house. I'll show you one day. It was like an air hostess kind of. She's got long sort of hair blowing in the wind and a little air hostess hat on, and it had lots of blending colours, and it seemed to take forever to do for a small design. But before that, the ones that I started, I did the counting and things wrong. I did one where it was a Bagpuss the cat from a UK magazine, and when I counted it up I knew his face was going to be like that, so I gave up on that one because I didn't even know where to begin to pick it all out. There was the cat, and there was 4 or 5 mice or something all the way around it, and it was quite big, for, you know, probably the first thing I ever did, but to do it wrong, so I stopped. Are there any subjects you gravitate towards in stitching? Halloween, Christmas, mermaids. Mermaids is a funny one because my partner hates mermaids or anything with scales. Fish freak him the hell out. We don't go to aquariums and things like that because he'd hate it. Yeah, so Halloweeny things, some Christmas things. I got a lot of snowmen, but I buy all the Christmas things and don't necessarily start them all, because where are you going to put them all? I've done a lot of the John Clayton Elegant Ladies, but I gave a lot of those away to my grandma. They're all in frames and on her walls in her bungalow somewhere. Haven't seen them for a while, but I'm sure they are still there around somewhere. But yeah, mostly Halloween and Nora Corbett's nowadays. What completed project would you like to revisit, and would you make changes? No, I can't think of one, to be honest. I can't think of anything that I've completed that I would want to change. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I suppose the Siren Song Mermaid, which I've just finished. I wouldn't want to do it again, but if I did, I'd use a different colour base fabric, because when you were doing the skin 1/1, it was very, very close to the colour of the actual fabric that I used, which made it a little bit harder to actually do those tiny little stitches on a 28 count, but I don't think I'd restitch it, no. What do you know now that you wish you knew at the beginning? That things take longer than they look like they do. I don't know. I can't think of anything other than that. What do I know now different? Well, yeah, obviously when we started when we were really, really young, that you separate the strands and that you stitch, out of the same holes into the next box, not with a gap that's like this so that you can see all the way along. That would be a thing that me and my sister would both say we wish we'd known years ago. And also that you don't draw on the fabric with the pen, that you fold it in half and find the middle that way and then follow your chart. But they're all things that, obviously, if you don't do it when you're a kid and nobody that's older than you knows what they're doing, then things are going to go wrong, aren't they? But yeah, I think that's that. So I'll pause this video here and feed myself, because that's my stomach that's rumbling, and I'll come back for the other half of the questions. Right, so the next category as part of the tag is music. Who are your favourite bands or musicians, and rank them? I like a wide variety of music. Anything from like the pop music that's in the charts now, through to really heavy rock and metal. So it'd be hard to rank them when they're all different kinds of varieties, but I like Adele and Ed Sheeran and George Ezra and bands like that, but I also like excuse me, I also like sort of Metallica, Iron Maiden, Bon Jovi, all that sort of like rock, heavy metal, some country. I like musicals, just a huge, too many to list, a huge variety. Question 2 is your favourite song. I think that changes from month to month, but one of my favourites is Lone Star's Amazed. It's one of my mum's partner's favourites, and it's been one of mine for a long time as well. That's like Enter Sandman, Unforgiven 2, Metallica, most things by Adele. It's hard to pick when I like every single music. The first album I bought with my own money, I was trying to think when I was writing that one down, is I think it was These Days from Bon Jovi, but I can't remember if I bought it with my own money or if I asked my brother to buy it for me for Christmas. Other than that, probably just like UK bands, like when I was younger, Boyzone and things like that. But I wouldn't say that I'm a boy bandy kind of person so much now. But I don't hate them. I don't hate on the boy bands, but I'd rather go to a rock concert, to be honest. The first concert I ever attended was a Bon Jovi concert at Milton Keynes. It's Milton Keynes National Bowl in England. It's a great big open air, dipped, grassy, huge area, and they were supported by Matchbox 20, which is one of the bands that Michelle was saying that she liked. It was brilliant. It's just absolutely. We went, myself and my two of my older cousins, and my cousin's then partner, and a couple of their friends, and a friend of mine from college, and we all got a coach and went to the gig and got this coach back and whatever. It rained the whole entire time, but I loved it. It was amazing. I was hooked on gigs after that. Absolutely hooked. What song, band, or genre is your guilty pleasure? Probably country. Because I couldn't turn around to my partner and say, "Oh yeah, let's put some country music on." But my mum always liked country music. So I listened to a lot of things like Reba McEntire in my teens because she liked it. Yeah, country, or I'd say musicals because, again, my partner's not fussed on them. Yeah. So that's that. Have you ever missed an opportunity to see somebody live that you really wanted to? I've had tickets to things and then the bands have had to cancel through illnesses or whatever, but mostly if somebody's gone touring and I wanted to see them, most of the time I did see them. The only times I could say that would be a thing is if they never came to the UK, because I've never been outside the UK, so if they didn't come to the UK and I really wanted to see them, then I didn't get to. But if they came to the UK and I really wanted to, unless they cancelled, like, once I had tickets for Blink-182 on an arena tour, and they cancelled it, but I did get to see them a year or so later at a music festival, so I have seen them, just didn't get to see them at that point. What music were you raised on? Like I say, my mum liked a lot of country stuff, Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire. My stepdad liked all the 50s and 60s, Beatles, Bay City Rollers, literally any sort of 50s and 60s, Elvis, just anybody like that. He loved it. But I think that's because his dad always listened to it, so he raised us on it. It was the worst thing is being at school and having a song in your head that you can't get out of your head because it's either annoying or you enjoy it or whatever, and not knowing in your own mind whether it's a modern song or whether it's something your dad said on a CD. That was just the worst, because you don't want to tell your friend, "Oh, I really like this song," and then they're like, "Yeah, that's not something new, that's like ancient." But anyway, that's how it was in my house. If you could bring back a past musician, who would you bring? To me, it's hard because I always wanted to see Queen with Freddie Mercury. I've seen Queen with Roger Taylor, but I've never seen him with Freddie, obviously, because he died when I was probably only about 7 or 8 year old. I'd probably bring back Freddie, and the only other one would be Kurt Cobain. My brother saw one of the very last Nirvana gigs at a music festival in the UK, and he said even though obviously Kurt Cobain wasn't very good at the time, wasn't well or whatever, with his drug habit and whatnot, he did say that it was a brilliant experience, and I would like to have seen it, but especially because I am a Nirvana fan, I'm a Foo Fighters fan. I've seen the Foo Fighters, but I was never old enough to see them, so probably either Kurt Cobain or Freddie Mercury, I would say. Do you play or wish you could play an instrument? I'd like to think I could play guitar, but I've never tried. Yeah, I'd like to have a go, maybe one day, but I don't play one at the moment, and I don't need another hobby or another expense, right? But yeah, probably, one day maybe a guitar. How would you describe your taste in music? Very varied. Because, as I've said, I like country, I like pop, I like rock and heavy metal. I like the musicals. I even like some classical stuff, but not a lot. Just maybe the stuff that gets into the charts, but nothing opera or anything like that. But most things I could put up with listening to. The only thing I don't really like is the what I would call thud music. Like the techno stuff. I'm not bothered about that. That would give me a headache after a while. But anything else I can try. But now I will do the last three. The third section and the last 10 questions. So, this is when you go to the bar, what is the first drink that you get? Usually it would be a Malibu and Coke, a Southern Comfort and lemonade, or just recently I've started all the fruity gins, so any sort of gin and lemonade. A couple of days ago I went to a gin festival at the Wetherspoons pub, which is a UK pub chain, and I must have tried about 7 or 8 different gins that I hadn't had before. They were all quite nice. The bathtub gin especially, and then there's one that's plum and vanilla, and that was absolutely gorgeous. So I'd definitely buy a bottle of that. Who would you want to play you in a movie, and who do you think the casting director would choose? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea about this one. Who would I want to play me in a movie? Could I not play myself? I don't know if I want to be famous, but yeah. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to play myself, to be honest, unless I'd already died and then they were, doing it after I died. But I don't know who the casting director would choose. No, I don't know that one. What is the title of your autobiography? Probably something like She Survived, or Just Get On With It. Yeah, get on with life. I've had bad things happen to me in my life, but I just plod along and try and be a happy, positive person. And yeah, some people would probably be like, "Oh, why? Woe is me? Why is it always me?" I won't really go into things that have happened, but some people would be getting to the point where they didn't want to go out of the house, or they were all depressed, or why do all the bad things come to one person? But no, I'd say probably she just gets on with it, or try to be happy. Right, what's the next one? What is scarier, 100 angry poodles or a leopard with no legs? Now, when Michelle answered this one, I wasn't really listening to how she said the question, but it was sort of, if you are in a room with 100 angry poodles or a leopard with no legs. Now, if you were in the same room with all these angry poodles, then obviously, yes, they're going to be the scariest thing. But I'd like to know what made them all angry and see if I could sort that out. The other thing that would be scary is if the leopard with no legs. He wouldn't be scary in the way that he could hurt you, because you'd just stay away from it, like Michelle said in her video. However, to me it's a scary thing that this leopard has no legs, because what happened to it? Like, why has it got no legs? Who did what to it and why? And I'd want to sort that out. So in a way that'd be the scarier thing, because you think, well, okay, these dogs, these poodles are angry, but you can sort out what made them angry and make them all happy and jumpy and whatever again, and all playful and whatever. But you wouldn't be able to sort out a leopard that had no legs. Like, why would someone do that to a leopard? Like, it's just no. So yeah, to me that would be the worst thing, because if you're not trapped in a room with these things, then they can be scary in other ways. The way it was written is, I don't know, there could just be a leopard with no legs somewhere in the world, and you think, well, who's done it to it and why would they do that? But these 100 angry poodles could all be trapped in a room with you, and if that was the case, then yes, they would be the most frightening. But yeah, strange question. Who are you in the horror film? The hero, the victim, or the killer? I'd like to think I was a survivor. I don't know if that necessarily makes you the hero. Surviving the film and being the one that catches the killer could be two different things. So I'd like to think I survived the film. I don't think I'd be the killer. Although, if you, for people that got on the wrong side of me, they'd probably know about it. What is the last movie that made you go WTF? I can't think. I watched one a couple of nights ago and I can't remember the name of it. It really was rubbish. But I'm trying to think, and I can't think of the name of the film. It was... No, I'm trying to think. No, I've blanked. I can't remember. I don't know. I know, I watched Skyscraper the other night. I thought it was going to be absolutely brilliant, and it wasn't that great, but I wouldn't have said WTF. I can't think of the last one. The last one was so bad that I'm blocking it from memory, obviously. Right. Ideal vacation spot. Well, my dream holiday is going to New York and seeing a show on Broadway. I know you can't really take stitching when you're at a show on Broadway, but that's what I'd like to do. Or just to cruise around America, to see all of America. I know it's very expensive and it'd take a long time to do, but yeah, I'd love to do that. A food that everyone seems to like that you hate. I can't think of a food specifically, but I hate gravy. And everybody else thinks I'm crazy because I'll have a roast dinner and I won't have gravy on it. So I've got my roast potatoes and my mash and my veg and all the other things and no gravy. And everyone's like, yeah, how can you eat your roast dinner dry? But like, I'll have mint sauce and things like that. But yeah, I hate gravy. I hate the smell of it. I hate the fact that it makes everything ridiculously soggy. Everyone thinks I'm mental. But that's it. It's me. A slogan or a phrase to sum up your life. Stay positive, I guess. Yeah. And a rough estimate, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know. 9 3/4. I have no idea. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what a woodchuck is, because I'm English, but yeah, Michelle went for a Harry Potter one, so yeah, I'll say 9 3/4. But other than that, I have no idea. Let me just have a sip of my tea from my Harry Potter cup. Because yeah, I'm a bit of a Harry Potter nerd. The only other thing that I've got to talk about is it's hashtag BBD Away We Ride 2018 Sal, which I'll try and write somewhere and add to the video, which is this chart, which I'll be starting on September 23rd, which is the first day of autumn in the UK. Sorry about that. I had to stop the video because I heard my partner getting up, and I don't want him to catch me doing the video because he'll laugh at me. Don't know why, but he will. So anyway, Blackbird Designs Away We Ride is the design. We have a hashtag on September 23rd. I'm going to be starting this with Steph from Just Keep Stitching, Christine from Stitch All the Things, and Julie from Kansas City Girl and Colorado World. There are a couple of other people on Facebook. I'm not sure if they're Floss tubers, but anyone else that wants to get this and start it with us, the more the merrier. So here's a floss toss for some fabric opinions. And now I can't pick them up. That's that one, which is the Vintage Country Mocha, 36 count Belfast, or I have in this one, which I think some of these are a little bit close, but I do like how this one and these go against it, and this is a 36 count Aztec linen from Under the Sea. So you can leave your opinions about that one in the box below. And for now, I will go before my partner gets up again and interrupts me. And that's it from me. Bye.